Oh, my love, you've been crying. Oh, honey, baby, please. We can work it out. I can't survive unless you're next to me. And all my life, before I met you, when I was trying hard in love, I thought the sun was going down, but the sun was coming up. And all those others that I stayed with, their eyes of polished stone. And all my devils that I made deals with, so I wouldn't have to sleep alone. And all my life, before I met you, and I was trying hard in love, I thought the sun was going down, but the sun was coming up. I see your face in the window. I see your face in the reflections of the moon. I feel my old ancient shadows disappear when I am near to you. So take this heart, take this feeling, take my dark and reeling mind, and from these poor words find the meaning far deeper than these clumsy lines. And all my life, before I met you, and I was trying hard in love, I thought the sun was going down, but the sun was coming up. I thought the sun was going down, but the sun was coming up. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Josh Ritter with us here at WFPK. His new album's called The Gathering. And we're going to talk with Josh here for just a little bit. Josh, the new album was inspired, I understand, after working with Bob Weir.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that was a direct inspiration, but the inspiration certainly came after that on Bob's album, Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
And I was wanting to know about what was about that process or that time that got you into this record.
Well, in between making Sermon on the Rocks, my last record, and then Gathering, I worked with Bob on a collection of songs that was all about. They were cowboy songs. You know, he wanted to write about and sing about what it was like working on a ranch in Wyoming before the Dead, and during Sermon on the Rocks, I had a very clear vision of what I wanted, and I kind of wasn't looking for a lot of input. And one of the things with Bob Weir that is so inspiring is his willingness to follow kind of inspiration wherever it takes you, all the way through the creative process, from the beginning to the end of how you record it. And it was really powerful for me to see that, and it really opened me up to a lot of new ideas by a lot of people that I work with, like a lot of musicians, and bringing them into the studio and sort of following that moment like Bob does. It was really cool to see him do it. I always think like the Grateful Dead were like they remind me of like those musical moments are like catching fireflies, you know, and that's what Bob does, and that's what I really wanted to do.
Now, the album Gathering, the title of that refers to a gathering of clouds before a storm.
Well, I thought it could. I love the word gathering. It's one of the things that comes out of at the end of making a record is that you have all these all these songs are suddenly there in front of you, and the themes start to jump out. And yeah, the storms were a huge part of the record. They seemed to just be all over every song. And I noticed that, and then I thought of how, like, you know, it's a gathering of people or a gathering of clouds or just a gathering together of songs. You know, it felt like, and the word itself sounded old and magical to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understand that you kind of wanted to do something new with this album in terms of not being hindered by your earlier work or be in the shadow of your earlier work, so to speak. And I was wondering how was your earlier work overshadowing what you were doing? Or?
Well, I think it's important to feel overshadowed in writing and stuff, like in anything you do that you love. I feel like anything that we do that we love, that we do obsessively and compulsively, is you know, the whatever kind of like art or however it is, you are driven as much by a sense of dissatisfaction about how you can do it better, and as you are by anything else. And over time, I've grown to love and respect that voice in my own head that is not satisfied, you know, by and I feel that every record is kind of a conscious trying to like cloud from underneath what you did before, so that you can kind of get to a new language and purpose in the music.
Yeah. It's you've been getting a lot of critical acclaim about this record. I mean, it is kind of all over the map in terms of just tempos and styles, and like you just, you know, you're gathering all these. It almost seems like gathering all these influences into it.
Yeah, yeah. I like. With this record, I really wanted to make sure that the kind of the editor in me gave the songs a proper chance to like grow you know, before I decided what was happening with them, and so I got together about 30 songs, and from there, a picture of the album started to emerge. The songs hung together in a way that was didn't have to do as much with style as it did with whatever the feeling was that it gave me. You know, I would be listening to the songs and think, okay, this is the song I want to hear next, and I don't know the rules for why, but it's funny. You pull together the kind of like the marble. I think before you can make a sculpture, you have to have the raw material there, and the editing process is really what makes it into like a sculpture.
Mm-hmm. Now you talk about a picture of the album. You also did the album artwork.
Yes.
So you're a painter as well.
For fun, yeah, totally. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's like one of the things that happens. Like when I'm working on songs, I can get pretty spun up, and there's different ways of dealing with it. But one of the safest and most effective is painting for me. I really enjoy it, and it kind of just settles me down, and I love it.
Do you listen to music while you paint?
I listen to all kinds of stuff, you know. I just but oftentimes I'll find that the record will end and I won't remember that it stopped. You know, once I'm really in the zone, I'm everything is quiet.
Anything in particular though? Do you listen to? I mean, you said all kinds of things, but anything that really that you just like to? I don't know, like instrumental or songs with words or.
Well, yeah, you know, I have some a Rachmaninoff like mass that I love to listen to, and I love Bach. You know, I find that like especially when I'm in the writing mode that I need space for my own words to just kind of float around, and sometimes if I'm listening to too much lyrical stuff, it it pins the ideas to a wall before they're like fully formed, and I love this like but I can listen to there's so much incredible music right now that like and I can listen to Gillian Welch for days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So can I. Well, Josh Ritter's with us here. He's playing tonight at the KCD Theater with the Royal City Band, and there's a Louisville member in your band, which is exciting. Ray Rizzo.
Ray Rizzo,
playing drums.
I'm so lucky to play music with Ray. He is in the studio and on stage. He sits behind the drums, and there's a shuffling sound and just music emerges. I don't know how he does what he does, but I'm so lucky.
He's a pretty brilliant guy.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear another song from you. Then we'll chat a little bit more. What's
Sure.
the next song you're gonna do?
I'll do this song called Showboat.
All right, Josh Ritter.
Every time it rains, it pours. I pray it rains just a little more on me. 'Cause I'm the guy who never cries, and I gotta keep my reputation clean. And here's a helpful tip: the rain administered in raindrops may help to hide the tears a little more. Which is why a guy who never cries looks up at the sky with hopeful eyes, hoping when it finally rains it pours. I'm just a showboat, won't catch me crying, no, won't catch me showing any hurt. I'm just a showboat, pretending I can stay afloat, pretending I'm not sinking over her. Every time the sun goes down, I pray the sunlight takes the sound as well. 'Cause I'm the guy who never cries, and I gotta keep the pain all to myself. No light to see me shaking, no sound to hear me breaking, no sound to hear the teardrops hit the floor. Which is why a guy who never cries looks up at the sky with tired eyes, hoping when it finally rains it pours. I'm just a showboat, won't catch me crying, no, won't catch me showing any hurt. I'm just a showboat, pretending I can stay afloat, pretending I'm not sinking over her. Every time I think of her, I wonder if she ever thinks of me. Out all night and running wild, the latest style's the greatest company. With laughter, lights and drinking, trying hard to keep from thinking, and seeking for what he is searching for. Which is why a guy who never cries looks up at the sky with desperate eyes, hoping when it finally rains it pours. I'm just a showboat, old King Thunderbolt, Mr. Bon Tom Brody, only dog in every fight, only guy who dynamite, only guy who never cries. He's never lonesome all the time. See him dancing up on tables, Shauna's, Lisa's, Ethel's, Mabel's, though he looks a little tired. One eye always pointed skyward, waiting for a drop of rain to fall and help to hide the pain, to fall and help to lift the boat, so he can think he's still afloat, pretending he ain't sinking, no, pretending he ain't sinking over. Pretending he ain't sinking over. Thank you.
Josh Ritter on WFPK for a members-only show here.
Thank you.
Playing tonight at the KCD Theater, and we're live on Facebook right now as well. So, Josh, you also recently released a song called Miles Away.
Yeah.
that was inspired by a book of photos of Earth from space. And I was curious as to what was it about that got to you?
Well, yeah, like it was just in an office, you know. It was sitting on a table, and I was waiting, and and there was something about an astronaut saying that like seeing the Earth from space had changed how he viewed everything, and it was beautiful, just the pictures, and it made me, you know, you just kind of try and stay open and curious, and just flipping through a book is like, while waiting around, you know, sometimes you get like a little inspiration, one thing I've never wanted to be as an astronaut. I was always like, that's way too high for me, and but I've always like been really, you know, transfixed with the ideas and the lives of the people that could do that.
Yeah. Would you go to space if you were given the chance, though?
I'd have to think really hard about that.
Right. You've been in the recording business for 20 years now.
Yeah.
And making your own records and doing this as a living full time and everything. And I was curious, you know, you can look back. I know a lot in the music industry has changed. A lot in technology has changed big
Sure.
time
Yeah.
since you started out.
Yeah.
If somebody came to you and they were really aspiring to do the same thing, really want to be a songwriter full time and that kind of thing, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say congratulations. I mean, I think it's an amazing it's an amazing opportunity to get to like write and make music for a living. But I would also say like you know, that all, you know, try and enjoy it. You know, the most important part of the whole thing is enjoying what you're doing, you know, and loving what you do, and there's so much pressure that you can put on yourself to be something, and to be something you're not, or to try and be more than you to try and it's a really, I would say, just try and chill out and appreciate the journey, because the journey is the thing, you know. And more I look toward like people, heroes of mine who are great writers, but have managed to live full lives and have families and you know, be full people. That seems to be the thing that I like would aspire to, you know. And that's, if I could tell myself 20 years ago, man, chill out a little bit, I wonder if I would have listened.
What were you What were you thinking 20 years ago, though? Like, were you thinking?
I was an animal. I was just like I was like playing music. I was temp working and was working in like a bunch of different jobs, and then playing open mics, and I was singularly focused on playing music and trying to make it so that I could play more, you know, and I never thought about anything else but you know, the next show, and that was wonderful, and I still think that's kind of who I am, but but chilling out and like appreciating, you know, my family and my life is like always, I think, growing ever more increasingly in the forefront of my mind.
Because you have a kid now.
Yeah.
Tell us about her.
Oh, she's 5 years old. I have and just is an amazing person. And they're usually on the road with me since she was about 3 months old, and it's been an inspiring journey being on the road with somebody who is so intent on soaking things up. It's great. It's really great.
Does she have any rituals around the you know, being on the road, like things that she likes to have done? Or
you know, she's all about the snacks backstage, which is like, there's actually so many things about how she approaches life on the road are the things I really
I notice them because I agree. You know, snacks are great, and it's always and she has her own bunk on the bus, and she loves to say goodnight to the band and stuff before we go on stage. You know, we all say goodnight, and she's and it's she likes to sleep in. So I'm very lucky, you know.
That's so sweet. I love it. Well, we'll talk just a little bit more about maybe have you do another song, and
Sure.
what were you going to do next for us?
I was thinking I would play a song from my last record called Henrietta, Indiana.
All right. Josh Ritter, everybody.
Henrietta, Indiana, Milltown. Locked the factory down and shut it up tight. My daddy and my brother and 1,600 others lost everything they had in the night. Daddy got a taste for the hard stuff. Henrietta, Indiana was dry. And we'd ride out to Putney. He'd tell me he loved me. The drive home was always so quiet. He had a devil in his eye. Like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. My brother practiced preaching in the basement, perspiration on his face till I know something was missing. His spirit was willing, he could not believe it was true. Blessed be the poor, he said, your treasure is on high. But all the Henrietta, Indiana heard me hallelujah when I finally saw the devil in his eye, saw the devil in his eye. Like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. And I was coming home late from midnight to 8. The radio said that I'd need the plates, left 3 men dead. Escape by now, said the sheriff. They'll be in the next day. Will we be able to catch them? Can they bring the dogs in? Can they call up the bureau? Do they have next to kin? Cameras came to our door. I opened it wide. They thought I was crying. It was something in my eye. I leave a bottle on the table, the Bible open to the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed be the poor of Henrietta, Indiana, but happy are the ones that get out. I think I'll ride over to Putney, the store will be open till 12. The empty parking lot, the lights, the lonely kid, the register, I see it all clear as a bell. I got a devil in my eye. Like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. Like a thorn in the paw, disregard for the law, disappointment to the Lord on high. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Josh Ritter on WFPK, playing tonight at the KCD Theater. The new album's called Gathering. And we just have maybe 1 or 2 more questions for you, Josh, and then I think you're going to do one more song for us. So I saw you on CBS Sunday Morning recently.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's such a great show. And, you know, I really enjoyed the interview, but I tell you what, the question I had for you around that whole thing was you were sitting next to an aquarium with a snake in it.
Yeah.
Is that your pet?
Yes, I have a pet snake. Our family, I wouldn't say that I'm the sole weirdo in our house. There are other weirdos in my house. we have
What kind of snake is it?
a corn snake named Puddin, who's like the sweetest. I think like one of it is nicer than me for sure. Like sweet snake.
Have you always liked snakes?
I didn't think that I was gonna be a snake kind of guy, and I sort of I'm guilty of lobbying hard against the snake at the beginning, but as soon as Puddin came to live with us, I was like, I kind of like the energy around here, it's something else, and then and we put it right in the. So it's just by virtue of where it is, not because we're mean or anything, but it's you kind of open the door to the house and there's Puddin, and it really is for some people like a kind of a shock.
Well, people have their dogs greet you at the door, so you know.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed that there is a fragrance, a perfume.
Yeah.
Based on your album.
Yeah, totally.
Gathering.
It's like, and it caused huge consternation. Yeah,
Among who?
I met this woman who's a perfumer in Brooklyn and who does makes perfume in these kind of small, cool batches, and my sound, my lighting engineer, Ken Mednick, is also a really into and connected in this world of perfume and scents, and it got me thinking like that I have never, like memories of songs take me back and songs envelop me like a world, it's like I feel like that the only other thing that has that kind of like visceral power is a smell, and like I wanted to make something that tried to recreate the sense of what I got from making the record, which was like the smell of rain and like storms, and it was like something that was wild and I feel like it's weird, but it's one of the fun things about doing this. It's like giving stuff a shot.
Yeah. So when you smelled it, what did you think?
Oh, it was awesome. I went and I described what I was going for, and she had a bunch of stuff there, and then we she over the time developed a number of different smells, and the one that I ended up liking was when I first smelled it, it smelled like vines and like oxygen, and I don't know, I really liked it. It's so interesting that we don't really have language to talk about smells, and we can only just compare it to other stuff, which is kind of what I do in my writing, So it was fun. It was fun.
You said it caused some consternation.
Well,
How's
it's
that?
weird. It's a weird idea to have something that is a smell that's based on like a record. And but it was somebody commented that next there's going to be a face cream. So
We're having some fun with it at least, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, I know you're going to do one more song for us, and before you go, just want to say thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me here. This
It's been
is
such
awesome.
a pleasure.
Awesome.
We have an audience
Well, thank you very much.
full of members today who support this station
Yes, awesome.
and support your music. So thank you again for being
Oh,
here, Josh.
Thank you guys so much. I'll do this song here. Yeah, I thank you for having me back always. This is just I love being here.
Peter said to Paul, you know all those words we wrote are just the rules of the game, and the rules are the first to go. And now talking to God is Laurel begging Hardy for a gun. I got a girl in the war, man, I wonder what it is we done. Paul said to Peter, you gotta rock yourself a little harder. Pretend the dove from above is a dragon and your feet are on fire. And I got a girl in the war, Paul, the only thing I know to do is turn up the music and pray that she makes it through. Because the keys to the kingdom got locked inside the kingdom, and the angels fly around in there and we can't see them. And I got a girl in the war, Paul, I know that they can hear me yell. If they can't find a way to help her, they can go to hell. If they can't find a way to help her, they can go to hell. Paul said to Peter, you gotta rock yourself a little harder. Pretend the dove from above is a dragon and your feet are on fire. But I got a girl in the war, Paul, her eyes are like champagne. They sparkle, bubble over, and in the morning all you got is rain. They sparkle, bubble over it in the morning, all you got is rain. They sparkle, bubble over it in the morning, all you got is rain. Hey, hey. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Josh Ritter on WFPK.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks for having me here.